finished the big whopping thing right over my $200 headphones. Because I lost the little skinny cord and nobody can seem to replace it. So I haven't combed my hair, haven't done anything. I slept today. I must be very, very tired. I want to say, the poster is from a game place. They just gave me that. I gotta say, I'm getting a little bit more into games, trying to play them. Massive Effect 2, very interesting, very nice website. And so, hello all my YouTube friends, all my Facebook friends, everybody, friends, a friend. Anyway, I want to talk about two things. I want to tell you first, I want to tell you about what I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about Avatar, not yet, because y'all know what I'm going to say. And I don't want to do a Kanye West. I don't want to be like, look, Cameron, I'm going to let you finish. That's how I would have said straight up if I was out there. I would have been like, Cameron, I would have ran up on stage. I would have been like, Cameron, I'm going to let you finish, but, 15 years is not a qualifier for originality. There's a lot of people. Anyway, I didn't want to go there because he did some great things. There's some great things about that movie. But visually, and there's been a great deal of technology innovations. But, and that's not the point. Is he's great. He's probably the only one could do it. But, big name guy that could do that. So that, huge credit for that. So I'm not taking anything away. It's just, I just don't, you got to understand that. I'll get back to it. Anyway. I do want to talk about Obama and President Obama. And I want to say just quickly, I want to say that about his things about schooling. But before I say that, I want to just say that my father has one comment about it. And he basically has one comment about it. And he says, Obama bring the troops home and that'll solve all the rest of the problems. So, but my father watched war movies every night. And he's like, they just maiming them young boys, maiming them. Y'all seen The Colonel. That's why I call him The Colonel, because he just watched war stories every night. So he was in a war. He was a parachute jumper. And so I actually gave him a hug for Veterans Day last year. So I want to say something about Obama. Now, there's a lot of great things that he said, obvious. And I didn't watch the whole thing, and I have to watch it again. And I hope it's on YouTube. So if anybody has a posting of the YouTube State of the Union address, I would be glad if they would post it somewhere where I can watch the whole thing in the entirety. My father was watching it, and I'm cooking spaghetti. And then I was watching the Apple iPad. And the iPad is a perfect product. It's just perfectly placed. And I was going to say something about that. So, and I want to say one other thing. Haiti. God bless everybody that is just, coming to their rescue. And my dad told me that they just pulled a girl out of one of those buildings after 16 days. And that there's people still down there. So I just want to, these miracles, praise God, and just keep doing the best you can do. And don't give up hope and keep faith. And just keep at it, y'all. Y'all putting in the work. So God bless you for that. So now I want to say, I have a lot of work to do tomorrow. I haven't had to work too hard the last couple of days. This is good. But, and I hope something happens, whatever happens with the health care. I hope that it is something that is very affordable for the average American to get, and especially in this time. And I'm getting up there. I need to be mindful of that kind of stuff too, and especially because I work by myself. I work for myself basically, and stuff like that. So those are things that have to be mindful of. So I mentioned Steve Project again, right? Steve's iPad again, Steve Jobs' iPad, and so it's just perfect. I was in Facebook. I was in Starbucks, and I'm sitting on my Facebook, and I'm sitting there in Starbucks. I had a few minutes, and I'm like hitting this, and I'm checking my Facebook, and I'm laughing, and I'm listening to music, and I'm on the web, and I had it right in my hand, just like this. And I realized, I said, this would be so cool if it was just a little bit bigger, And so, so I realized, and then the next day, I hear about this iPad stuff. And so I'm like, it's great. It's just perfect. It's a perfectly placed product. Plain and simple, And it does way more than that. It does way more than, it's not just a big iPod. And all I can say to people who who says that is, misinformed opponent is great competition. A misinformed opponent is ideal competition. So you keep thinking that. There's iWork, there's all kinds of stuff on there. I'm actually thinking about actually reading books again, And I really believe that students, all students are going to just have iPads. It's just going to be, kids are going to go to school, stop buying the big backpacks, your kids aren't going to need them anymore. I really think that he has developed a whole new computing platform. It's just a whole new computing platform, and it's fun. He made spreadsheets look like fun. I mean, they should offer spreadsheet class now in Excel with iWork. I mean, it's just fantastic, And the books, I mean, you could sit there and buy a book and know that you have it. The worst part is carrying around books for recreational reading. I can't do that. I have to carry hardware, and things that I need, right away, that I need to work with. So it was if you didn't watch the keynote, the Apple.com keynote, do not make any criticisms about the iPad because you don't know what you're talking about. If you want to eat your words, then talk, okay? All right. So that's kind of like one of the things I like about James Cameron too, and I'll skip over to Obama after this, especially now that I'm talking about Steve Jobs, great innovator. So I consider Obama a great innovator as such. I'll put him on the level of Steve Jobs. Okay, that's where I put him. Okay. So with that, Cameron said, and I'll jump back to Obama, but Cameron said the things that he says that are not about the movie is just phenomenal to me. That's why I like listening to Cameron. I mean, him as a director, the wherewithal that it takes to do that. I mean, the innate man that it takes to do that, to even beat yourself, if you have no competition, then to beat your own self, that's a heavy motherfucker, Anyway, all right, last thing, Obama. Speaking about these great innovators and these record breakers, what Obama did, I think, is really on that level. It's just record breaking. I think when he said tax breaks, $10,000 tax breaks, and better yet, oh, that's phenomenal. But better yet is that exemptions for people that have these great student loans. And I'm gonna tell you, some people got ripped off by their by these places, these business schools, and they created debt for people that from them manipulating them. You know, I'm just telling you, I won't go into it. But and so, you know, on student loans, you wind up paying just the debt, you know, because they defaulted your loan because they changed the numbers, and then you didn't have enough money to go to school. That's why I didn't finish college, you know, and I wound up teaching in colleges. You know, there's something broke about that needs fixing, you know, and that's what I think, you know, this thing of debt, and I've said it before, the year Jubilee. You know, the God made a provision for the Israel people not to be in debt, because after a certain amount of time, 7 years, it's just like, look, after 7 years, you're not going to get the money. They can't do anything. Nobody wins, you know, and the country goes broke, you know. So after a certain amount of time, it's just like, okay, you know, go and try again, you know. So that keeps the whole country out of debt. And so those things that he did, I think he is really onto some principles, some healthy, I mean, you know, I mean, he may have delivered it very nonchalantly, but they are very publicly, you know, in a very public, charismatic way. But the core thinking behind it. And this is what I wanted to say. This is the heart of my conversation right now. I did a video some time ago, I won't post, when I got my, I was crying when I got this, when I spent $3,000 for this. I'm not rich. This place that I moved in, and I don't want to go to it, but this house was an abandoned house. My parents, and I lived in it while it was abandoned. I paid them rent because I just needed to get out, where after 9/11 I came back. And so I was willing to do, it was an abandoned house, and then when my parents moved here, they fixed the downstairs, but there's big holes in the ceiling, and there's big holes in the ceiling still now, and I paid double in gas and all of that stuff. I don't mean to talk about it, but this place is not a very, very livable place. You know, but it's a sacrifice. I don't even bother my parents for it. You know, my parent. And I don't do that kind of work, and I have a bunch of brothers that do that kind of work, make the money from that stuff. I still pay my dad rent, whatever. You know, my point is that it meant so much to me. It meant so much. I have to do this in the second blog. You know, but it meant so much to me to study. I came here, no computers. No, I had nary a computer. I had one computer I left in Jersey, and I got a job, and the first thing I did was went back and got the computer, or, you know, my brother-in-law was going to toss it out. That's what they told me. Anyway, I got the computer, and then I studied on that one computer, old computer, for 5 years. It was old when I bought it. And now I have, with good people, I mentioned in my other video, good people who have helped me, Eric and David, just phenomenal people. And so now I got I've had Disney, Puma, you know, BMW, you know, some really, Lego, some really interesting clients. I've been here. I mean, for nothing. And I give God the glory for all of it. Well, what I'm trying to say is that, and I studied videos and stuff like that. First I was buying books. First I was going to the public library. You know, they closed more public libraries in the last years under Bush. Public libraries. This is for kids. You know, kids, you can even send your kid to a library, and they're pretty much, you can watch them, they're pretty safe. You know, I'd like to do a vlog on that, like people, menaces to society and perverts and stuff like that hang around where children are, like, you know, going to a store in the middle of the day, old men at the store or a bus stop at 2 o'clock or whenever a child is out. You know, there needs to be something, security guards, something around there at that time, or just to protect the children. But the children used to be able to go to these neighborhood libraries. What kind of president that would deny children libraries? Libraries. I mean, that's just like the end of the future right there. You know, when children can't go to libraries. Let me not get passionate about it. All right, let me move on. So my point is that I used to do that. Go to libraries and I could get professional quality books that would help me. Actually get clients and work on high level, high tech production in the film industry that is making billions of dollars worldwide, the same software worldwide for people like James Cameron, on tools by people like Apple Computer. You know, just right there at your fingertips. And really, it's almost free. It's almost free. You know, and so I would go to the library and I would learn these good books, and I would even give them recommendations on what books to get, and they would order it. The library would order it. And then they started making them with the DVDs. And so you can watch the DVDs. You had a computer anyway, and you can learn it. So then, you know, when you get to where you could turn around, grands. I don't want to have to say how much, but you go from being broke to turning around grands, you know. I mean, under any circumstance, you know. I don't care if I was in New York. So what I'm saying is that, you know, and then so I continued to learn. But the fact is that this was so important to me that I was willing to deal in not the best living, you know, not the most conveniences. Even the place I live, we don't have corner stores. We had corner stores, but not real good situations. So, I don't want to go heavy into it, but what I'm saying is that it was so important to me that even 7 years I did it. 7 years. You know what? There's only a few people in the Bible motivated to do stuff like that for 7 years. One was Jacob, you know. He loved this woman so much that he worked for, you know, just went through it for 7 years for this woman. And then went through it 7 more because they gypped him and got the wrong one. So what I'm saying is that it's that important. You know, if it's that important for a middle-aged man like me to do it, how much more important is it for an 18-year-old, a 17, 16? There's kids younger than that. You can go on YouTube. There's kids plucking that stuff down. But at the same point, the whole model of that, the whole model of learning, and I've taught in colleges, and some of it I didn't like, you know, but some of it it's a business, you know. And some of that, they respond maybe a year behind what the industry is doing. So this whole getting videos directly based on the job that you want to do, and it will train you to do that job. And you are equipped. I can do those jobs. I've been doing them. You know. So what I'm saying is that kind of professional training by professionals, you know, is what the model looks like. And so a lot of what's happening is in school, yeah, we got vocation schools and stuff like that, but, you know, to have to be paying out for something that ain't even helping you in the first place, old bank loans and stuff like that. And Joe Biden says some really great things like that. How many people feel really confident that, you know, with this education, you can do great things? Now ask, and everybody was quiet, ask the guy who was watching videos and being trained by a professional, does he think he's going to get a job when he's done? He knows he can. He knows it. It's like I have, you know. So that's kind of. I'm sorry for the mishmash, hodgepodge of stringing together different nonlinear ideals. Or maybe I've been in front of the computer editing too much, but it's like ideal here, ideal. So, but there's a lot of great opportunities. I think at the next wave of the iPod is a great opportunity. I even bought. I don't like to play games, but I even bought at the Avatar game, and there's a lot of free information. So, um, you know, um, these things can be used for presentation, architectural presentation. That platform is going to be a very excellent thing for that. So, I just wanted to share that information with you, and I feel like Flora TV right now. God bless you all. Love you all. Bye.